devotion seal my tormented heart. Let the ones who are joyful in affliction and fasting come to me, for they are pleasant penance. 6 stinging pains lance my flowery breast. Take the first one and purge one of your 6 mortal stains over the soul.
There are very few games that I personally enjoy replaying. Same with movies for me. I have a really hard time wanting to push through something knowing what's already going to happen next. But Blasphemous was, and yes, feel free to make fun of me in the comments, my very first Metroidvania. Since then, it's quickly become my favorite genre, and I've honestly played more Metroidvanias than I can count now. But there's something special about going back to the game that popped your cherry, and so last week that's exactly what I did. And with Blasphemous 2 coming out later this month, I thought it would be a perfect excuse to talk about why this game is an absolute masterpiece. Blasphemous is set in the very religious world of Cvstodia. Cvstodia has been inhabited by a cruel force called the Miracle. This entity is manifesting itself through blessings and curses that twist the inhabitants into representations of their faith and sins. You'll play as the Penitent One, the last warrior of the Brotherhood of the Silent Sorrow, in a crusade to establish a new covenant between the Miracle and Cvstodia. If this at all sounds confusing, that's because it is. As with most things related to religion, there's a lot of room for interpretation. One thing that I think this game does really well with its story, though, is that while it clearly has roots in Roman Catholicism, it never settles on some moral high ground to preach at you that religion is bad or some shit like that. And in fact, my first playthrough, I had no idea what the fuck the story was even about, and I appreciate that so much. I think when developers decide not to spoon-feed their audience, they in turn become hungrier for that knowledge, because there's something so satisfying about that self-discovery, almost like it's an ancient knowledge or a tome and only you know it. Gameplay-wise, Blasphemous feels almost dated by choice, and I don't say this to give a pass to it. One of my 2 gripes for the game is actually the platforming. It's not bad by any means, but it definitely is limited by design. But I think the gameplay as a whole, while never reinventing the wheel, all feels like it belongs in this world. From the large amount of prayers with devastating effects and beautiful accompanied artwork, to the simple combat, this game was never meant to be a power fantasy, and it shows. While the Penitent One is a warrior, he's not some crazy geeked god like Clive in Final Fantasy XVI destroying everything with the smash of a button. Instead, it takes finesse and calculation to take down the many idols of this world. But how Blasphemous does set itself apart is in how lovingly the developers painstakingly painted this world. Nearly every inch of Cvstodia feels like it could be hung in a museum. I think when it comes to game design, that artistic direction will always be at the forefront in my mind as to what makes an incredible Metroidvania. And make no mistake about it, Blasphemous is oozing with it. Even on a second playthrough, I felt my eyes melting during sequence after sequence, just stopping to take in the grandeur and bleakness of this world. I could legitimately talk about this game for hours on end and its artistic direction. But I'm not going to do that though, because it's not really my style. And to be completely honest, I really just wanted to gush about one of my favorite games of all time with you guys before the sequel came out later this month. And if by the off chance you're watching this and have never played, I highly recommend giving it a shot. I'm giving the first Blasphemous a 9 out of 10, take it or leave it, with the 1 point being taken off for some frame rate issues the game still has. as well as I kind of wish the game was a little bit more difficult. Funny enough, my first time playing through this game, I almost thought it was too tough, like I couldn't beat it at first. But I guess now with my tons of experience in Metroidvanias, this was kind of a breeze to platinum. Anyways, thanks for chilling with me today, guys. Let me know what your score is for the game if you played it. I'll see you guys later this week for another review. I'll be dropping on Sunday. Later.